So, several things. I like the changes to TSM that they just put out. Seems good to me. I can't even talk about superficial things. I'm annoyed. So, the girlfriend, because college started back up, has to get COVID tested twice a week. Well, she set it up to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today's Monday. We were going to drive her back, and we were going to stay at her place for a week, and then, come back here. Because it's long distance, and I can't afford to just drive back and forth nonstop. And appointments right now are over the chat stuff, so hopefully that would work out, and so on and so forth. That's not going to work out because today is Labor Day, and last night my spouse's medications finished up for her seizures and for her night terrors and stuff, and I need to go pick them up, but they're not there today, so there's no option to get them until tomorrow, but tomorrow is Tuesday, and even if I got up at like 8 a.m. and tried to get us going, by the time that the pharmacy opens to get the medications, we would be driving the long distance drive, and if nothing went wrong, and if nothing happened, and if it was a perfect drive, we would have 5 minutes leeway to get her to her appointment. So now she's trying to switch stuff up for this week and then be able to switch it back for next week, which who knows if that will work out. And it's like, F you from life. Like, obviously I can't kick myself, really, for not having gotten her medication sooner, because they didn't finish until yesterday. And I can't just be freaking... Like, just the whole thing is annoying. I am not upset that people have a day off for Labor Day. I'm not upset about that at all. I'm frustrated because there's no way around it. There's no way to make this less stressful. So we packed up the entire car to go travel for a week, and then we had to unpack the entire car. And then we're going to have to repack the entire car. And it's just going to be nonstop driving for me. And driving for me is not a fun thing. Driving for me is very stressful. It's not just stressful because I get easily distracted or my brain wanders off and I have to really, really focus. It's not just stressful because I have no cruise control and my legs and my hands cramp up from trying to hold the car steady and stuff like that because it's an old car. It's not even any of that stuff. It's not even that the air conditioning can't really be on while we're on the freeway or the car can overheat. It's an old car. It doesn't like to have the air conditioning on if you're driving fast. It's not even that stuff. It's the stress, the mental stress of it. I have to halfway be like a defensive driver who's paying as much attention to security and stuff because people drive like idiots half the time. And actually probably more than half the time, but that's besides the point. And the other thing is, I have to be half trying not to be, like, aware of me driving. I have to be talking myself down the entire time, because I have been in the kind of car wrecks where you almost die. Where the glass comes shattering in on you, there's blood, there's cars, there's whatever. I have been in that. So I have some PTSD about driving. I have to long distance drive, and then I have to drive her to her appointment, and then one day off, and then the next day drive her to her appointment, and then the next day is driving her to grocery stores and stuff, and then the next day is driving to get some sort of something or other, I forgot what it was, and then the next day is me driving long distance again. So it is non-stop driving. I try to normally have to drive like 2 times a week maximum. And instead, it's just going to be day after day non-stop of driving. And much of that driving is going to be long distance. And I hate driving, but I am the only one who can drive. and it's stressful. It is exhausting after I have driven for, around 4 hours to 6 hours, things in that range. I'm just dead. Like, I'm completely dead because it takes so much energy, not just to do all the physical aspects of the driving, not just to do all of the paying attention parts of the driving, but the emotionally draining parts of not panicking the whole time of the driving. And no one else can drive. I'm the only one who can do it. So, yay me. It's like my least favorite thing to do in the universe. Have me drive a boat? I'm awesome. Have me drive jet skis or anything on water? I'm good to go. Have no problems whatsoever. Even though I have crashed jet skis before, you just land in the water. It's not a big deal. Yeah, end up okay. It's more annoying than anything. It doesn't have that same weight to it. I don't have any PTSD about it. The worst thing I can think of with, boat accidenting is my freaking dad not paying attention to me, being so upset when I was 12 and on my period, and him knocking me into the water over and over again because he was being ridiculous and stupid on a jet ski, and me being so upset because I had wanted not to end up in the water, and the jet ski was the only thing I could do that was out of the water at my grandma's at the lake in Alaska. Like, that's the worst experience with water I have. I'm a water baby. I've been swimming since I was 2? Like super young. Like, just love swimming. Always, my whole life. No problems. Driving a car is different. And it's not once, it's twice in my life that I have almost died in a horrible, horrible car wreck kind of a thing. It's like, I'm frustrated because this means there will be basically no breaks from driving at all this week at all for me, period. And I have to try to get some sort of energy up or excitement level up because my spouse's birthday is at the end of the week. And I like her birthday, that's not the problem. The problem is a week's worth of driving. Except for one day the entire week. Like, I'm just gonna be dead. But it is what it is. I had put in a request to be a absentee voter through the end of the year, and it went through for all the primaries and stuff, but I just got a notice saying that it doesn't count for the actual presidential election, so I don't know if I even have enough time to reapply for that or not. I don't know if I even want to deal with the stress of it. I don't know. I know trying to go in person to poll is probably going to be a living nightmare, and my spouse doesn't need that brought back. And am I even going to be able to find someone to babysit her? Like, in reality, I need to try to get back to being an absentee voter, but they, because Trump's been throwing freaking tantrums, because that's what he does, they, canceled everyone's absentee votes for presidential election and are making them reapply. Just in case that they did it because they're scared of COVID. Because, of course, you shouldn't be scared of a pandemic that's killed over 800,000 people at this point in this country by itself. Like, definitely. The whole thing is so stupid. The pandemic should not be a political thing. But that's not what some people think. Sometimes life's just frustrating. Sometimes it's just annoying. My spouse can't get her sleep schedule right, so she's stressed. My girlfriend's having to do homework and stuff and things, but she's stressed because she's getting her wisdom teeth pulled at the end of the month, and that's going to be unfun, and I'm going to have to take care of her and drive her to all of that. And then it'll be my appointment for my stuff, and I'm worried I'm just going to be dead and exhausted and not even, like, functional at that point. I don't know. At some point during all of this, the pre-patch for Shadowlands will drop, and then that'll be one more thing to add on to an already, like, topsy-turvy schedule, so. But I don't know, the pre-patch, really, the first week of it, as far as I can tell, is just gonna be everybody, like, changing the way their characters look and getting used to being a different, like, level and stuff. The Scourge invasion isn't till later, so I think that's not necessarily a bad thing either, because people probably need a little bit of a chance to get used to it, so. But yeah. Been doing the Cyrodiil event in ESO, and still world versus worlding with the guild in Guild Wars 2, but we can't do it for as long now because it used to be that we could end at 2, and because of my spouse's sleep schedule, we need to end earlier. I'm sorry, my eye is itchy for some reason. But one of my friends, wanted to try it with us and then didn't come again. And I find this is a recurring issue with pretty much everyone. They say they're gonna hang out or that they want to play together or something like that, and they do it one single time, and then they just don't do it again. And they just completely forget. And I don't know why. Because some of them, I know for a fact, their life isn't busy enough to warrant that. And some of them, I know for a fact that they were like, oh yeah, I love this, I want to do this again. And then they just don't. And it's like, oh yeah, I was supposed to play with my baby sister tomorrow. I wonder when I'm going to do that now. We'll have to see how it goes. Anyway. She also completely forgot that the game even existed after I bought it for her. And we were like, yeah, we'll play together and it'll be fun. I don't know. My brother and sister-in-law downloaded it and were like, oh yeah, we'll get set back up to play again and we'll play with you a little, and we haven't done it once. Like, I don't know what's so itchy in my eye. I'm gonna have to go clean it out or something. I don't know. Life is frustrating sometimes. I really am not looking forward to this much driving. I don't know what to do about it. You just suck it up and deal with it. Or at least I do. Somehow I always find a way to follow through and do stuff. I don't know why other people don't follow through and do stuff. I don't know how to find other people who follow through. Like, it's definitely not the people I'm related to. Um, it's definitely not the people who I make friends with. I wouldn't mind making friends with some people who are more willing to follow through on things when they say things, that they mean it, instead of just saying it. Because I always mean what I say. When I make a statement of I'm gonna do this, I always mean it. I don't know how to find other people who do that. I don't know. I've been wishing a lot lately for a peer. I don't I don't know how to find that though. Anyway, I just I don't know, I've gone through my entire life never really having like best friends or whatever. For the most part, I have a best friend who lives in Singapore, but we've never met in real life, and we've been friends since, forever. But we don't talk that often. Um, we always just know each other, though, somehow. We always know each other very well, but we don't involve ourselves in each other's, like, day to day life super much. Um, but even when I was, like, growing up and stuff, I never had a peer. I always was the leader, and everyone else was either younger than me or less mentally able to handle things or emotionally able to handle things than me, and I just was the leader. And it's fine being a leader most of the time, but sometimes you want someone who's on your same maturity level and capability level and capacity level, and I don't I don't know how to find that. I've never known how to find that. I don't know where that is or exists, or I don't feel like the people that I meet every day are peers. They're all people who are looking for help. They're all looking for someone to lead them. They're all looking for that safe place and that person who makes them feel safe and protected. And I'm good at that. So they gravitate toward me. But I don't know how to find someone else who does that for other people too. And they're a peer and we're on par with each other and we relate to each other and share some common interests. And I don't know how to find that. I I don't mean to sound arrogant if I do, or like I think I'm better than other people. I don't think I'm better than other people, and I have certainly been that person many a time in my life who was at a state of need instead of being able to provide for other people. Although honestly, I still found a way to provide for the people around me, but sometimes I just had to flat out recluse myself because I couldn't handle it except in doses because I was in a constant state of need. And I just had to wait for time to pass and survive it until finally I could get to a place where I could maybe take a step forward. I I don't know how I don't know how to find people who are like that. And maybe partially it's because I realize that, codependency issues and stuff isn't healthy. And being there for people all the time isn't healthy. That's not a good way to live. So there's probably not a ton of people who are super mature who also do that or whatever, because giving and giving and giving and giving of yourself to other people when they're just inconvenienced and you're in like desperate straits is very destructive. It's terrible for you, and it doesn't really tend to leave you with much energy left for anything else. So on the one hand, I get that there's not very many people who exist in the same state of being as me. Statistically, probably the odds are not high. But at the same time, I don't know. I want to hang around other leaders. And I don't feel like I know very many people who are leaders. Almost everyone I know wants to be part of whatever's going on, but doesn't want to lead. And, some people even show potential for leadership and they don't want it. And then you have some people who want to lead, but they don't have the capacity for it. And they're not consistent enough to be a leader. They don't put any passion into it, so then it's a struggle for them. And they might want to, but they don't really know how to. They don't have those instincts or whatever. I would say in Guild Wars 2, even our guild leader, who is a very good leader when it comes to world versus world, struggles with leading. And it's difficult because we'll do something well and he'll give the credit to us. And if something messes up, no matter what it is, he immediately starts just like beating himself up verbally, like abusive style. And everyone's like, stop it, stop, don't do that. And, it's like he doesn't just take it, say, all right, here's how we learn from this, let's move forward, we can do this, we'll do it differently this way or whatever. Sometimes he does ask, he says, how can we do this differently? And that's good, that's productive. But he just takes it personally anytime anyone does anything out of sorts, or any Zerg is bigger than our Zerg and stomps us, or, whatever it is. He just takes it so to heart, like it's his personal failure and he owes penance now. And that's not a mature leader, even though he has all the qualities and potential to become a mature leader. There's this giant self-deprecation thing going on there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go to some sort of leadership retreat or something like that. First of all, they cost way too much money for almost nothing. Secondly, they're just hype. You go there and there's an energy and you get hyped on the energy and your adrenaline starts rushing. And then you go home and it's like a big giant adrenaline collapse. Or else you feel that adrenaline keep going for a couple of days and then there's the collapse, wherever it is. Because the big giant thing with self-help shit and leadership shit is, oh hey, look at us, we're doing something, but you're not really doing something. You just feel like you are, so you get that energy of feeling like you're making progress, when in reality you did nothing except stagnate and spend some money. I've done leadership retreats, lots. I went to freaking leadership school and ran a bunch of leadership retreats with a bunch of other people, and we had people who were speakers over the whole freaking nation come and speak, and it was super high energy and everything else. But let me tell you, as someone who works in the background, it's a scam. Um, the they're there to they're they're there to earn a paycheck. They're not there to help you. Um, that's not where you find real leaders. That's where you find people who want to turn leadership into a monetization. I don't want to find leaders who are like militaristic or wishy-washy or just not mature. There used to be this thing called servant leadership, and I don't know if it still exists, but it's pretty much the way that I lead. And I don't know if anyone else still does that, but it's the kind of leader who serves the people who are following them. It's the kind of leader who doesn't just lead by example, but gets down and is shoulder to shoulder with the people that you're leading. Nothing is beneath me to do, which is why I can ask anyone else to do it. Because I'm not only willing to do it myself, most likely I've done it myself. I'm not asking you to do anything that I think I'm above, ever. I'm just delegating. And I feel like that's good leadership. And sometimes a leader can't get as much done if they're constantly having to deal with ittle-piddle things. And sometimes people get irritated by that. But I'm not afraid of doing the ittle-piddle things. It's just time-consuming. And if less time can be consumed by that, then other things can get done. That's all it is. It's just juggling time consumption. Because time's the one thing that goes by whether you want it to or not. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's gonna keep going. So, it is what it is with that. I don't know. It's strange that I have leadership qualities because I'm not an ambitious person. My only ambition in life is to help the people like around me and maybe get us out of this country if any other country ever allows an American to go back in again. I mean, the United States is the most diseased country. No one wants any of our citizens because even the ones who aren't sick might be like white supremacists. So there's a different kind of disease there. It's not just one pandemic going on. Other countries don't want that. I don't blame them. I still hope someday we can get out, though. This is no way to have a family. But, I mean, I don't know if that's ambitious as much as just wanting the best for the people I care about. Wanting them to live in a better way. I've never wanted to be part of the rat race or anything like that. Never felt any compulsion. I don't know. I just want a simple, quiet gentle life for the most part. But I also wouldn't mind having a friend who's actually a peer. I've never really had that in my entire life. Except for, again, my friend in Singapore who we don't talk a lot and stuff. But I've never been part of a friend group that's all peers. I think that's why I crave to be one of the bros so bad in some ways. Because it's like a peer group. And yeah, there's a little bit of a hierarchy in every peer group, but you know. I've just never had that. It was always either my siblings or their friends or else adults or children. I've never had a peer. But my life's not consistent, so maybe I don't even have time for that. I don't know. I just know when people need you, they don't have time for you unless you're giving them something that they need. They don't remember you exist. They don't remember any promises they made to you. They don't remember anything. Even your own siblings. Even the people you grew up with or done stuff with before. They don't want to do anything with you unless they're getting something out of it. They just don't even remember. Doesn't even cross their mind. It sucks to be the person who doesn't cross other people's mind. It sucks to be the person who remembers them. People like to go on and on about my memory and how impressive it is and blah, 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 blah. Oh, you have such a great memory. People have said that my whole life. And they're always like, oh, I wish I could have that memory of yours. Oh, I wish I could remember things like you can and stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. It's a curse. It's not fun to remember every single thing that's ever happened to you. It's not fun to remember every single person who's ever just not even just abused you, but just not given a damn. It's not fun to be very aware of people. It's just life, though. It's just more frustration. I've hit a plateau with my exercising, and I'm not really having any gains at all anymore for the last week, and that's frustrating as well. It's like the one thing that I was doing that I felt like I was getting some progress out of, and now nothing's happening, at all. It's like my body's hit a certain point and it's like, okay, we're done. That's good enough. And I'm like, no, body, it's not good enough. We're not done. I would like to pursue further. And it's like, And so I gotta try to figure out how, you push your body past a plateau because it don't want to do no progress no more. Frustration. That is the theme of the day. Frustration. Disappointment. dreading the week. But if I can get through this week, and the next week, and then the next week, then it will be appointment time. Maybe things will start to get more positive. That would be good. Who knows? I don't know if that'll be frustrating too, but maybe it'll be positive.